Welcome everyone to a brand new anime story. In this story, our main character is actually a gamer, but he reincarnates into the world of a game with an extremely high difficulty level. However, in this new world, he gains a summoner skill. How will our main character survive using this skill? That's going to be really interesting to find out. If you also want to know, make sure to watch the video till the end. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on all notifications. So without wasting any more time, let's start episode 1. The story begins with our main character, Kenichi Yamada, who has been playing a game for several years. But one day, the game servers shut down, meaning the game completely ended. Seeing this, Kenichi becomes really disappointed and says, "This game only lasted 3 years, another weak one, just like the rest. I want a game so tough that it takes me at least 10 years to finish." Saying this, he starts searching online for a truly difficult game. After searching for a while, he finally finds one with the title, A Game That Never Ends. The description says, this is a fantasy world where you'll use swords and magic. Seeing that, Kenichi gets excited and says, "Oh, this is exactly what I wanted, a game that never ends." He downloads it and notices that the game offers different difficulty modes, easy, normal, extra, but there's one more mode called Hell. Kenichi reads the description. This mode is supposed to be insanely hard. To level up here, you'll need 100 times more experience than a normal mode. But Kenichi doesn't care at all. Being a hardcore gamer, he immediately selects Hell mode. After that, he sees various character class options: Sportsman, Spear User, Sword Master, Hero, and even Demon Lord. But then he notices one more, the Summoner class. Its difficulty rating is even higher than the Demon Lord's. Of course, being a hardcore gamer, Kenichi chooses the Summoner class. He reads that in this class, he'll live a poor, low-status life. But that just makes him even more excited. Nice! Even more challenges, he says. And with that, he presses enter to start the game. But the moment he does, something strange happens. Suddenly, he gets pulled into his computer, literally transported into the game world itself. When he opens his eyes, he realizes he's been born inside the game world. Shocked, he says, "Wait, did I just reincarnate here?" Meanwhile, his parents in this new world are overjoyed at his birth. His father smiles and says, "I've already decided your name. You'll be called Alan." Some time passes. We now see his parents feeding baby Alan. Inside his mind, Alan starts thinking, "I used to be a 35-year-old man, uneducated, poor, single, and just a laborer. My name was Kenichi, but now I've been reincarnated as Alan. At this moment, I'm 1 year old, so I can't speak yet, but I can think and understand words." He explains that he was born into a serf family, just as he had chosen in the game, meaning a poor family. They live in a frontier village, where pioneers pay taxes to the ruling lord in exchange for farming land. He then tells us about his father, Rodan, a hardworking man doing his best to support his family. "I think he's around 20 years old, Alan says. "And this is my mother, Teresa, beautiful and very kind. Right now, I'm their only child." Alan also notices that his parents are deeply in love with each other, very affectionate and romantic. Seeing that, he realizes he's going to have a little brother or sister very soon. In the next scene, his parents put him to sleep in his room and leave. But Alan isn't really asleep. He's actually waiting for that very moment. He tries to open his status screen, but nothing happens. Seeing this, he feels disappointed and says, I even really a summoner? I wish I could do something already. I've tried so many times to open my status, but nothing works. Let's try one more time." Saying that, he tries again, and suddenly, a mysterious book appears in front of him. Shocked, Alan screams out loud. His parents hear his voice and start rushing toward his room. Before they can arrive, Alan quickly hides the book and pretends to be asleep. When his parents enter and see him mumbling in his sleep, they assume he was just talking while dreaming. They gently put him back to bed and leave the room. Once they're gone, Alan sits up again and brings out the book. After opening it, he finally gets to see his status for the first time in a whole year. He finds out that he's currently level 1, and his class is Summoner. On the next page, there are details about his summoning skill. He learns that to summon or create creatures, he'll need skill experience points. This means the more he uses the skill, the stronger he'll get. He also notices that he can summon certain beasts, but for now, he can only summon insects and small beasts, and their rank is H, the lowest one. Suddenly, he receives a message from the creator of this world, whose name is Almia. Almia apologizes and says, "Alan, I'm sorry you had to wait to receive your grimoire. The class you chose was still under testing, so it took some extra time to complete." Seeing this, Alan says, "Well, it's fine. Now that I finally have the book, I want to try summoning something." He tries to summon an insect several times, but nothing happens. So he focuses even harder and says, "This world doesn't have any tutorials. I'll have to figure out how everything works myself." Maybe I should use the create skill first. So, he uses the create skill and makes an insect card. He's just about to summon it when his mom suddenly comes in to check on him. He immediately pretends to be asleep again. Thinking to himself, he says, I can't be careless. If my parents see, they'll get suspicious. I'll try summoning tomorrow. For now, I'm feeling sleepy. My body's only 1 year old. After all, I get tired easily. Saying that, he falls asleep. Time passes, and now Alan has learned to walk a little. One day, after his mom puts him to bed and leaves the room, he takes this chance to summon his grimoire again and tries to summon an insect. As soon as he does, a bright light fills the room, and suddenly, a huge insect appears from the grimoire. It's a grasshopper, and it's surprisingly large. Seeing it, Alan wonders, will it even listen to me? He calls out to it, but instead of coming toward him, the grasshopper hops away in the opposite direction. Alan sighs. This thing doesn't listen at all. What a stupid bug. Maybe the grimoire has something written about it. He checks the grasshopper stats and learns that he can even give it a name. So, he names it Denka. Alan also notices that because of Denka, he's gained some buffs, like increased endurance and agility. Excited, he yells in happiness. Hearing his voice, his mom rushes into the room and asks what happened. Then she spots Denka, the huge insect, and terrified, stomps on it and kills it instantly. In the next scene, some time has passed again. After experimenting with different skills, Alan decides to try creating a beast. This time, he manages to summon a mouse from his grimoire. But just like Denka, this mouse also seems pretty dumb. Still, it has an ability called Scurry, which lets it run extremely fast. When Alan commands his summons to use their abilities, they actually obey him. Denka's special skill is Jump, while the mouse's ability is Run. Alan says, looks like there are a lot of powerful monsters roaming around this world. But for now, I only have these 2 useless summons. With them, I can't defeat any real monsters. He explains that he can store up to 10 summon cards for each type of creature. The most important thing about them are the buffs they provide. For example, if he stacks 10 of the same mouse cards, his own stats will increase tenfold. Using that trick, Alan boosts his attack stat, and now he can easily chop wood with an axe. Seeing this, even his parents are shocked. Alan then explains, because I chose Hell mode, gaining experience is extremely difficult. That's why I can't level up my skills or creatures easily. It's really tough right now. Just then, his father, Rodan, returns home from hunting. He tells Alan, today, I killed a really big boar. Hearing that, Alan excitedly explains to us that his father Rodan is a serf, basically a farmer. But during winter, he joins the other villagers on monster hunts. Rodan smiles and says, do you want to see the big boar I caught? Alan eagerly nods, yes, since he's never seen a monster before. So his father lifts him up onto his shoulders and starts walking outside. Alan is amazed. It's his first time seeing the outside world. As they walk, Rodan shows him some albiheros, explaining these creatures always move in herds, and around this time of year, they travel north. As they fly away, you can tell that the fall season is just around the corner. Rodan then says, Alan, I actually named you after them, the albiheros. The sky for them is limitless. They can go anywhere in the world using their wings. That's what true freedom means. He laughs a little and adds, your mom was pretty angry when she found out I named you after monsters, but I want you to soar just as high as they do. In the next scene, Rodan takes Alan near the giant boar and says, this is the great boar I was talking about. Seeing it, Alan is stunned. The boar is enormous. He immediately realizes that he's nowhere near strong enough to defeat something like that yet. Just then, a man named Geta shows up. Seeing Rodan there, he shouts, our champion has arrived. Everyone around starts clapping for Rodan. After all, he's the one who killed the boar. But Rodan smiles modestly and says, I don't deserve all this praise. I just got lucky defeating it. Geta laughs and replies, oh really? Is that so? Then noticing Alan, he says, looks like you brought your son along too. Rodan nods, yes. Alan politely introduces himself to Geta. Geta is surprised. Wait, he's just a year old, and he can already speak this well? My daughter, Krana, is about the same age, but she can't even talk yet. Nice to meet you, Alan. Alan smiles and shakes his hand. Then Alan curiously asks, was this great boar really that strong? Geta nods. Yes, boars like this are C-rank monsters. They're very powerful. It takes around 20 people to take one down. Hearing that, Alan realizes just how strong C-rank monsters really are. After that, 10 more months pass. Alan is now 1 year and 10 months old. He's overjoyed to see that both his summon and create skills have reached level 2. Even more exciting, he can now create G-rank creature cards. He's also unlocked a new skill that lets him fuse his summons together. On top of that, his card inventory space has doubled, meaning he can now stack even more buffs on himself. He notices another new feature too. He can actually write inside his grimoire. Alan says excitedly, I want to try fusing some summons together right now. But then he realizes he doesn't have enough mana points. So he quickly eats to recover his energy and goes straight to bed, saying nothing. His parents are confused, wondering why he suddenly went to sleep so early. Once he's back in his room, Alan immediately begins trying to fuse his cards. He's thrilled to finally test it, but again, he finds out he doesn't have enough MP. Alright then, he says, let's just try creating some new summon cards instead. He attempts to create a G-rank beast card, but once again, his mana points run out before he can finish. Disappointed, he sighs, realizing that even though his MP is at maximum, it's still not enough, all because he chose Hell mode. The scene then shifts forward in time. Now Alan is 3 years old. We can see his stats have improved a lot. He's gained multiple buffs. Finally, he tries fusing Hopper and Molly together, and this time it works. The result is a G-rank bird card. He summons the bird and names it Chappie. He soon discovers that Chappie's special ability is voice mimic. It can perfectly copy Alan's own voice. Amazed, Alan laughs and says, this is such an awesome skill. By using this ability, we can even trick our enemies. After that, he summons Hopper and Molly as well. Hopper's ability is Provoke, which means he can distract enemies during battle. On the other hand, Molly has the ability Dig, allow her to dig through the ground and create big holes, basically traps to capture or surprise enemies. Alan smiles proudly and says, our progress is going great. These G-rank summons are actually really useful. That's how games work. If you dominate your stats, you dominate the game. To become a great summoner, you need to fully understand every buff your creatures can give you. Feeling excited, he adds, things here are getting way more complex and detailed. Now, this is true hardcore gaming. Just then, he suddenly falls into one of the holes Molly dug earlier and sighs, but I'm still not strong enough to actually fight monsters yet. A moment later, he notices the time. It's already 3 o'clock. That means trouble is on its way. Krena has come to challenge him again. Krena is Getta's daughter. We see Krena arrive, and she's incredibly powerful. She's also super fast. Alan is shocked. How is she so quick? I've even boosted my agility stats, and I'm still losing. Krena lands a strong attack that breaks Alan's wooden sword and leaves him completely defeated. In the next scene, Alan's parents arrive to pick him up. Just as he suspected, Teresa is pregnant, which means Alan's going to have a baby brother or sister soon. Teresa then says, it's getting dark. You should all head home now. Krena agrees and leaves. Alan helps his mother carry some things, and together, they head back home. Once home, Alan tells his father, Dad, I want to help you with farming this time. Mom needs to rest, and I'm strong enough to help. He thinks to himself, yeah, I really can help. My stamina is almost like an adult's now. His parents are happy to hear this, but still tell him, you're still a child, Alan. You shouldn't be working yet. You already help us a lot, and that's enough. Just go play with Krena. Alan refuses at first, but his father gently says, you need to listen, son. You'll have to farm eventually anyway. So for now, take this time and enjoy yourself. Alan thinks about it and nods. Yeah, Dad's right. If things keep going like this, we'll always be farmers. And farming itself is hard work. That's probably why they don't want me doing it yet. He finally agrees and says, all right, I'll enjoy my time then. His mom then says, I noticed you were throwing stones at that tree earlier. Why were you doing that? Alan replies, you both said there are monsters in the forest, right? So I was trying to get stronger, so I can protect you, Mom. Hearing that, his father smiles proudly, lifts him up, and says, you're a brave boy, Alan. But Alan thinks to himself, the truth is, I was throwing stones to see if I could use any other skills besides summoning. Teresa smiles and says, so, you'll become strong and protect Krena too, right? Alan nods, of course. Rodan then says, you two are really growing strong. I can't wait for your appraisal ceremony. Alan asks, what's that? His mom explains, when you turn 5, a divine ceremony is held to reveal what kind of talent you possess. Then Rodan adds, yeah, and if we're lucky, Alan's talent will be something amazing, something that might even help lift our family out of poverty. In the next scene, winter has arrived. Alan notices that Denka, his grasshopper summon, can bounce around all day long, and realizes that he can keep his summoned creatures active for a full day. Just then, Krena shows up again to fight him. But Alan still isn't skilled enough at sword fighting, and once again, she completely beats him. This time, Rodan sees the whole thing happen, and Teresa steps outside too. Suddenly, Denka jumps on her foot, startling her. She screams and falls down. Because of the fall, she feels pain in her stomach, and they realize the baby is coming. Rodan quickly tells Krena, go bring your mother now. She runs off and comes back with her. Krena's mother, who's also the village midwife, sends all the men out of the room and starts helping Teresa deliver the baby. After a long night, morning finally arrives, and Teresa gives birth to another baby boy. She looks at Rodan and says, "You should choose his name." Rodan smiles and says, "I already have. His name will be Mash." Everyone loves the name, but Teresa looks serious for a moment and says, "Don't tell me you named him after another monster?" Rodan laughs awkwardly. "Yes, sorry. I can't help it. Those are the only kinds of names that come to mind." She frowns at first, then bursts out laughing. "Never mind, it's actually a nice name." Everyone starts laughing together, enjoying the moment. Seeing his family so happy, Alan thinks to himself, I still don't understand why I was reincarnated here. I mean, my wish was to play a hardcore game that would last a long time. In my past life, I was poor, uneducated, single, just an average guy. I'm not sad about leaving that life behind, because honestly, there wasn't anything there worth missing. Now that I've been born into this new world, I'll make the most of this chance. I'll get the best equipment and max out every single stat I can. After that, Alan's parents tell him to come meet his baby brother. He walks up, gently touches Mash's tiny finger, but the baby starts crying. Alan panics. I'm sorry." His parents laugh and say, "It's okay. When you were born, you cried even louder than this." Hearing that, Alan blushes and says, "Oh, really?" Then he smiles and thinks to himself, "I'm really happy now. I don't know how I'll do it, but I want to get my family out of poverty." All right, guys, that's where the first episode ends. Tell me in the comments, did you enjoy this anime? Should I continue it? Personally, I really liked it. Share your opinions in the comment section. And hey, if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe and turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next video. All right then, that's all for today. See you guys in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.